in the House.
कि पूरा पार्लियामेंट का एक सेशन वॉश आउट हो गया। क्या बहुत बड़े कारण कोई रहे होंगे कि कांग्रेस पार्टी ने इस रणनीति को अपनाया। लेकिन एक खेद इस बात का है कि ना खड़गे जी के भाषण में ना उनकी पार्टी से जो दूसरे सदस्य बोले वो अपने आप को केवल खोखले नारों से ऊपर नहीं उठा पाए, कोई तर्क आधार नहीं दे पाए। पूरा आधा घंटा समझाऊंगा
Yes, you continue. You continue.
माननीय अध्यक्ष जी, ये उम्मीद थी कि कोई इतना बड़ा कांड हो गया कि पूरे देश के लोकतंत्र को खतरा पहुंचा दे, और उस लोकतंत्र को जो खतरा पहुंचाए कि सदन में कानून न बनने दे। जिन विषयों को लेकर देश की आर्थिक प्रगति होनी है उन विषयों पे एक राय भी बन चुकी है, फिर भी उनको पारित ना होने दे। शायद कोई बहुत बड़ा अपराध होगा जो सरकार की तरफ से किसी ने किया होगा। मैं ये स्पष्ट करना चाहता हूं कि खड़गे जी ने, श्री राहुल गांधी जी ने और अन्य सदस्य जिन्होंने ये आरोप लगाए हैं, सरकार उनको पूरे रूप से निराधार मानती है, उनको खारिज करती है। मैडम स्पीकर, कहा गया कि खोदा पहाड़ निकला चूहा, शायद अनुप्रिया जी ने कहा, लेकिन शायद वो भी अपने आप में अतिशयोक्ति थी, क्योंकि वो भी नजर नहीं आ रहा। ये सारा विषय क्या है कि क्या हम केवल नारों तक इसको सीमित रखेंगे कि वास्तविकता क्या है। वास्तविकता ये है, और मैं ये समझाना चाहता हूं कि आरोप क्या था और इसका मूल विषय क्या था। ये आरंभ हुआ सन 2009 में जब आम चुनाव थे, और जब देश में आम चुनाव थे तो उस साल आईपीएल का क्रिकेट टूर्नामेंट देश में नहीं हो पाया, क्योंकि सारी जितनी पुलिस थी, सिक्योरिटी apparatus था, वो चुनाव में व्यस्त था। कुछ सप्ताहों का नोटिस दिया गया, उसको दक्षिण अफ्रीका शिफ्ट कर दिया गया। इन्फोर्समेंट डायरेक्टरेट ने उस टूर्नामेंट के बाद इस आधार के ऊपर नोटिस दिए, और आरोप यह था कि वहां टूर्नामेंट कराने के लिए जो पैसा भेजा गया वो रिजर्व बैंक की अनुमति के बगैर भेजा गया। पैसा बैंकिंग चैनल से गया, बैंकिंग चैनल से आया, देयर वाज नो रिजर्व बैंक परमिशन। ये सन 2009-2010 की घटना है। जिस व्यक्ति का नाम बार बार लिया जाता है जो इसके लिए जिम्मेवार थे, इन्फोर्समेंट डायरेक्टरेट ने उनको नोटिस भेजकर कहा कि आप हमारे सामने आकर अपनी इन्वेस्टिगेशन करवाइए। ही डिड नॉट अपीयर इन द इन्वेस्टिगेशन। अब ये नोटिसेस जो उन व्यक्तियों को जाते हैं जो इन्वेस्टिगेशन में नहीं आते, ये 3 प्रकार के नोटिस होते हैं। पहला नोटिस होता है जो इंटरपोल के माध्यम से होता है, रेड कॉर्नर अलर्ट, कि इस व्यक्ति को हम लोग पकड़ना चाहते हैं, इसको अरेस्ट करना चाहते हैं, और ये व्यक्ति गायब हो गया। इसलिए दुनिया भर में रेड कॉर्नर अलर्ट पहुंच जाता है, सब एयरपोर्ट्स पे होता है कि ये व्यक्ति कभी आए तो इसको पकड़कर हिंदुस्तान ले आइए। ये इंटरपोल के माध्यम से होता है। दूसरा नोटिस रेड कॉर्नर नहीं होता लेकिन उसको ब्लू कॉर्नर कहा जाता है, वो भी इंटरपोल के माध्यम से होता है। और वो नोटिस ये होता है कि वो व्यक्ति अगर कहीं दुनिया के किसी एयरपोर्ट से आता जाता दिख जाए तो उसके वेयर अबाउट्स भारत की एजेंसी को बतला दिए जाएं। ये भी इंटरपोल के माध्यम से होता है। एक तीसरा नोटिस होता है जिसे कहा जाता है लाइट ब्लू कॉर्नर नोटिस। लाइट ब्लू कॉर्नर नोटिस केवल देश के भीतर देश की इन्वेस्टिगेटिव एजेंसी DRI इशू करती है कि देश के भीतर किसी एयरपोर्ट पे यह व्यक्ति नजर आ जाए तो उसकी जानकारी हमें पहुंचा दी जाए। उस वक्त मुझे नहीं मालूम यूपीए सरकार को क्या सूझी, इन्फोर्समेंट डायरेक्टरेट को क्या सूझी कि व्यक्ति लंदन में छुप गया, इन्होंने रेड कॉर्नर नहीं दिया, ब्लू कॉर्नर नहीं दिया, लेकिन जयपुर और जोधपुर के तमाम एयरपोर्ट्स को लाइट ब्लू कलर नोटिस दे दिया। और लाइट ब्लू कलर नोटिस के बेस पर वो लुकआउट नोटिस चलता रहा। उन 15 शोकॉज नोटिस में कि हर चेक जो गया साउथ अफ्रीका, हर चेक के ऊपर एक नोटिस था, वो व्यक्ति इन्वेस्टिगेशन के लिए नहीं आया। और केस जो था वो फॉरेन एक्सचेंज मैनेजमेंट एक्ट का था। 2002 में 2 कानून बने फेरा को रिपील करके, एक फेमा और एक PMLA, प्रिवेंशन ऑफ मनी लॉन्ड्रिंग एक्ट। दोनों में इतना अंतर है कि PMLA का जो कानून है वो मनी लॉन्ड्रिंग का कानून होता है। मनी लॉन्ड्रिंग के कानून में कोई व्यक्ति अगर अपराध करता है और उस अपराध से कोई कमाई करता है तो उस कमाई को जो इस्तेमाल करता है, उस मनी को जो लॉन्डर करता है, तो PMLA का केस बनता है। तो PMLA के लिए आवश्यक है कि एक एंटीसीडेंट ऑफेंस हो, कहीं FIR हो, कहीं चार्जशीट हो। So any profit of crime which is laundered and used leads to PMLA. So there must be a crime, there must be an FIR, and secondly that there must be the laundering of the profits of that crime. That is PMLA. फेमा का जो कानून है वो उसकी तुलना में सरल कानून है कि आपने फॉरेन एक्सचेंज मैनेजमेंट एक्ट का उल्लंघन किया है। फॉरेन एक्सचेंज मैनेजमेंट एक्ट में आपको नोटिस जाएगा, आप उसका जवाब दीजिए। जैसे इनकम टैक्स की असेसमेंट होती है वैसे एडजुडिकेशन होगी, और आप दोषी पाए गए तो आपके ऊपर पेनल्टी लग जाएगी। द मैक्सिमम punishment that can be granted under in FEMA is fine and penalty. There is no provision for arrest in FEMA. There is no provision for any red corner alert, no provision for any bailable or not bailable warrant. So under FEMA you can't be declared an absconder or a fugitive because you can't be arrested. In PMLA you can be arrested and you can be declared an offender or you can be declared a fugitive. There can be a warrant against you. अब आप उस चूहे की तलाश कर रहे थे, वो चूहिया ये थी कि हमने फेमा की इन्वेस्टिगेशन के लिए नोटिस भेजा, वो व्यक्ति नहीं आया, लंदन चला गया। हमने डोमेस्टिक एयरपोर्ट्स पे कह दिया कि आपको पता हो तो हमें बतला दो कि इसका एड्रेस क्या है, और इस बेस पे आपने एक्सटर्नल अफेयर्स को लिख दिया कि इसका पासपोर्ट रद्द कर दो। आपने ब्रिटेन के चांसलर को कह दिया कि इसको आप पकड़कर हिंदुस्तान डिपोर्ट कर दो। अब इन्होंने कहा कि आरटीआई में चिट्ठी क्यों नहीं दी, बहुत बड़ा राज है। अब आरटीआई कानून यूपीए ने बनाया था। यूपीए के उस आरटीआई कानून में इन्वेस्टिगेटिव एजेंसीज को यह छूट है कि इन्वेस्टिगेटिव एजेंसीज अपनी इन्वेस्टिगेशन के कोई कागज नहीं दे सकती। एंड द रीजन इज दैट इफ सीबीआई और Enforcement Directorate are compelled to give documents under RTI, every accused will go to the CBI and say, please give me the documents that you have against me during the investigation. Every accused will tell Enforcement Directorate, I am being prosecuted under PMLA. Let me see what is the evidence against me, then I will tell you my defense. So, under Enforcement Directorate, CBI, as a rule, don't give those documents because UPA granted them an immunity. Now, the finance minister, the then finance minister, wrote 3 letters to the Chancellor Exchequer in England. I have no difficulty in your chamber showing it to Mr. Khadke, those letters, they are with me here. But we can't make them public under RTI because we don't want the person sitting in London to get all the documents of investigation. Because he is not entitled to them. Yes. So he wrote 3 letters. The first was on 8th of July 2013. The second is on 21st of August 2013. The third is on 14th of March 2014. And the letters were that we have cancelled his passport. Without passport, how is he continuing to stay in England? Now, it looked a very legitimate question. The Chancellor replied that if you enter England with a valid passport, and thereafter you lose your passport or it's cancelled, this is not a ground under our English law to deport him. So we can't deport him. And for deportation, there has to be some criminal case. Now, the best case you had against him was FEMA, under which there can't be a arrest, there can't be a bail, there can't be a warrant. There can only be some penalty. So just because somebody has an income tax or a FEMA case, you can't physically pick him up in England and bring him to India. So these were all make-believe actions. Just as informing domestic airports to tell them about the whereabouts of a man sitting in London. You follow the wrong route. You follow the wrong route so that you are never able to get the man back. So the British authorities said that the only methodology that you have is that under our extradition law, you apply for his extradition. And if you fulfill those criteria, we will extradite him. After all, they are also a society governed by rule of law. Meanwhile, the passport authorities had cancelled his passport. The Delhi High Court delivered a judgment saying that his passport has been wrongly cancelled. And what must have weighed with the court is that there is only a Enforcement Directorate show cause notice. That show cause notice, no proceedings have taken place for a very long period of time. The show cause notice is of 2010 and we are now in 2014. It's still pending at a show cause notice stage. ना तो इसमें वो अरेस्ट हो सकता है, ना इसमें नॉन बेलेबल वारंट हो सकते हैं, कोई कानून में ही प्रावधान नहीं था. और इसलिए दिल्ली हाई कोर्ट ने उसको पासपोर्ट उसका वापस कर दिया. उसकी पारिवारिक विषय क्या थे मैं उसमें नहीं जाना चाहता. सरकार का तरफ से मैं जवाब दे रहा हूं कि उसका ताल्लुक नहीं है. सुषमा जी ने अपना निजी स्पष्टीकरण उसको दिया है. The correct methodology was that there were a large number of facts against him with regard to which a case was pending against him in Chennai. The subject matter of that case gave rise to a cause of action under PMLA. The FIR under PMLA was registered in 2012. The case was registered by the enforcement. The FIR was of 2010, but the proceedings were registered under PMLA in 2012, but the proceedings were not given any life. They didn't take off. It's only now that proceedings under PMLA have been started because prima facie some of those violations may make out a case under PMLA. And a summon was issued to him in London to come and appear before the Enforcement Directorate in the PMLA case. He has not come. So the Enforcement Directorate has moved the appropriate court in Mumbai and got a non-bailable warrant against him. We are at that stage today. So for the first time,
1 minute. आप सबकी सहमति हो तो एक कुछ हाउस का बिजनेस और भी है, वो पूरा होने तक हम हाउस का समय एक्सटेंड करते हैं.
बिजनेस पूरा होने तक
बिजनेस पूरा होने तक. ये दैट इज व्हाट आई सेड. थैंक यू.
Madam, for the first time, he became liable for arrest on a non-bailable warrant on the 5th of August 2015. Therefore, if you move under FEMA and then say let him be physically picked up and deported to India, it may be a difficult proposition to sustain. The British government did not agree with that. Now, it's only when he is required for arrest here and he evades that arrest that other proceedings like Red Corner Alert or any extradition proceeding or any legitimate cancellation of impounding of passport can thereafter follow. So unless you take the right steps, you won't move in the right direction. So where do we stand today? The allegation against Sushma ji is, on a day when there was no arrest warrant against him, there was no criminal case against him, there were FEMA proceedings pending against him. He made some request, right or wrong, and she carefully told the High Commissioner that this is not a question of international relationship. You deal with it under your law. Oh, this is a big crime that you have committed. Now, unfortunately, we are living in a world where in the first instance he is declared a fugitive and an absconder by television channels, not by a court of law, or by some members of the Congress party because it suited their argument. Now, what is the strategy? The strategy is that factually, till the 26th of May, you were in power in 2014. You had only an old FEMA adjudication proceeding where the principal question is whether transfer of money to South Africa and transfer back amounts to a violation of, and these are bank transfers, whether these bank transfers without RBI permission is a violation of FEMA or not. It could be. That's all the proceeding. In the proceeding in which he could not be arrested. And therefore, every step that you took, including wanting him to be brought back by physically deportation, the British said this is not permissible in law. So you were taking the wrong steps and creating a false cloud that as though you were doing something and the present government is favoring him. The truth is to the contrary, that you took steps where you could never succeed. The correct steps, that is registration of case under PMLA, activation of that case, summoning him in that case for the first time, getting a non-bailable warrant against him, moving for a red corner alert against him. These are all steps which will be taken now. Otherwise, a make-believe light blue colored notice given to domestic airports for a man living in London makes no sense. And that is the step they took. Now, what is the strategy now? The strategy is that if you argue these facts in a calm environment as we are, then probably you have no legs to stand on. Now, you ran a government for 10 years, और उस 10 वर्ष में क्या था? और ये केस हमें नहीं डालने पड़े कि आपको जब सब ने कहा कि स्पेक्ट्रम एलोकेशन गलत हो रहा है, बेईमानी से हो रहा है, 1,76,000 करोड़ का नुकसान है, संसद में बहस हुई, सीएजी की रिपोर्ट आई, उसके बाद सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने रद्द किए कॉन्ट्रैक्ट, एफआईआर रजिस्टर हुई, और फिर जाकर हमने कहा कि मंत्री को हटाओ। कोयले के कांड में जहां प्रधानमंत्री उस वक्त के कोयला मिनिस्टर थे, और आज पता चल रहा है उनके साथ जितने सहयोगी थे सब उसमें शामिल थे जो एमओएसएस थे, 1,86,000 करोड़, 87,000 करोड़, और आज जो ऑक्शंस हुई हैं उससे स्पष्ट हो गया। और मोदी जी की सरकार ने आते ही कहा यह सब ऑक्शन से होगा, आप कोई आरोप नहीं लगा पाए। स्पेक्ट्रम में हमने तो एफआईआर नहीं की, सुप्रीम कोर्ट के कहने पे हुई। कोयले में सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने कहा इनके ऊपर केसेस चलाइए और रद्द किए, और आपकी सरकार के जमाने में कहा, और जब वो कलंक आपके ऊपर लग गया और एक साफ सुथरी सरकार दिल्ली में काम कर रही है, सो यू मेक अ माउंटेन ऑफ व्हाट इज नॉट इवन अ मोल हिल। जहां चूहिया भी नहीं निकली उसको आप चूहिया कह दीजिए। कि एक हमने डोमेस्टिक एयरपोर्ट्स पे नोटिस था एक लंदन में बैठे व्यक्ति का, उसकी क्यों मदद की? और राहुल जी ने अभी कहा कि क्या आपने प्रेमचंद्रन की रिक्वेस्ट पे कार्रवाई की कि नहीं की? आपने तो केवल उस एक व्यक्ति की मदद की। सुषमा जी ने कार्रवाई उस रिक्वेस्ट पे भी वही की। उस रिक्वेस्ट पे प्रेमचंद्रन को 31 अक्टूबर 2014 को जवाब दिया, आई हैव हैड द मैटर लुक्ड इनटू। श्री माधवन पिल्लई and 2 other Indian nationals have been serving life sentence in an Omani jail since 1997 in the case of planned burglary involving murder of an Omani security guard. The mercy petition from these families of these Indians has been regularly forwarded to the local government for consideration and reduction of their jail sentence terms. The Indian mission in Oman has also taken up their cases with the IG Police Central Prison in Oman in September 2014 for consideration of clemency on humanitarian grounds. So humanitarian grounds pe the difficulty with Mr. Rahul Gandhi is he is an expert without a knowledge. So he now, without knowing this, says, tell me Sushma ji, he is presuming that she only wanted to help one man and not this person. Exactly the same policy was there. अब उसमें है क्या कि आप बताइए कि उस व्यक्ति को लाने के लिए मई 2014 से पहले क्या हुआ? Which was the legally sustainable action that your government took? You can simply use words, the center of black money, the symbol of black money. What step did your government take to bring black money lying abroad into India? We've taken some hard steps. Some people who are critics of this government are criticizing us, saying these are too harsh a step. But you did nothing. Every step has been taken by us. You're very fond of saying there were 3 monkeys, but don't make a monkey out of this country. That without an issue which is an arguable issue, you hold up parliament, you waste a whole session, and the real reason, Madam Speaker, the real reason is that you ran a failed government. You ran a corrupt government. And therefore, when things are beginning to look up in India, there is a new confidence. You somehow want to sabotage the Indian growth story. And in order to sabotage the Indian growth story, your best chance was, let me go back on what I had promised, the goods and services tax. So what was announced by them in 2006, introduced in 2011, all proposals which their finance ministers had accepted, now you say we will dissent. We will not allow. Once it is cleared by Lok Sabha, once in the other house the numbers are against you. So we will not allow a vote because a constitution amendment requires a vote by just lung power and disturbing the house. So my entire sympathies are with Sushma ji because she is only a scapegoat, a pretext. The real reason was they wanted to prevent legislation, particularly the constitution amendment on the GST. Madam, it is very easy to say that your family members appeared in a case. She has clarified. He repeated that query that my daughter appeared with her senior. There were 9 other juniors. She was one of that crowd. She has not been paid. The senior was briefed. She went along with him to court. This is a big scandal. Madam, there are still many honest people in this country whose children have to work for a living. For generations, a family which has dominated this country's politics, for generations has not worked for a living. They have learned the art of living comfortably without working. Some of us have not. And therefore, Madam, the government rejects each of these charges and the question of Sushma ji resigning does not arise. Similarly, I may also clarify, just as this case under PMLA is now pending, they referred to the case of a member of parliament and his mother, who happens to be the chief minister. I am not giving any opinion on it, I am just stating the fact. Now, that was not a part of this motion, but a huge amount of time by both the speakers from the Congress is pending in that. The first offense is that a loan by check was given in 1 year and it was returned in the next year. So if I had said it's a commercial transaction between two people, when a son-in-law of a family got an advance from a real estate company, which became a national issue, my predecessor, Mr. Chidambaram, also had said this is a commercial transaction. But in that commercial transaction, there was a lot more than what meets the eye. So you receive a loan in 1 year, you give back the loan by check next year, oh, this is a big scandal. You have a company which owns a palace. So you start a make-believe argument, we are now disputing this palace is not owned by you. Is the Congress party and the spokesman an appellate authority over a civil court which has decided the dispute that the palace belongs to Mr. Dushyant Singh? कचहरी ने कह दिया उनका है, उन्होंने कहा नहीं हम एपिलेट अथॉरिटी है कचहरी के ऊपर, हमारे प्रवक्ता कह रहे हैं आपका नहीं है, तो 4 दिन उसी की बहस चला दो. Now if that palace is converted into a hotel, it is Mr. Dushyant Singh's right. Now if somebody has brought in an investment, got shares, अब खड़गे जी said 10 रुपए का शेयर 96,000 में, there is a system of valuations. The value of the company will be taken. If you call another investor into the company, the promoters call them, ask them to invest in a company, then whether the investment is overstated, understated or real will be gone into by the authorities. And if Mr. Khadke repeatedly said that he, well, I don't know, accusing me or complimenting me of knowing the law, so I'll share some information with him in absentia. That's a very simple logic. Find out the total area of the palace, go and find out the circle rate, and you will realize that the valuation of the shares, what it should be. You'll get it. I don't want to express a final opinion on it because there is a complaint pending, it will be investigated. But without knowing these facts, to create a cloud and say there is a scandal in it. Well, there are many scandals which have been covered up. All these will be taken, investigated in a fair and honest manner by the agencies, taken to its logical conclusion, and not in the manner in which the gentleman in London was investigated prior to 26th of May 2014. That's all I have to say.
Thank you.